We are back on the Morning Brew with Friends, and some of my favorite folks are in there from the ABQ BioPark. We got John Stewart, the curator of gardens, plants in the garden, and Catherine Benzer from the ABQ BioPark. And you guys brought in something like, I love this, it's a train. This is cool.
Loves our trains. I mean,
Right.
you walk in, you think it's going to be a kid's exhibit. The adults are into it as much as the children are.
Right here, adults who are into trains. Yeah, it's great fun.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of retired guys that come out and literally run the train for us in their spare time.
Oh, well, it's got to be fun. It's got to be a blast.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because they kind of snake all the way through the garden area, right?
We have one area that's set aside just for the Garden Railroad. There's about 1,000 feet of track out there. There's 2 main loops that are a little over 400 feet each, and then we have 3 interactive loops where the kids come up, push the button, and the train goes around, they push the button, and they
I've
wear
pushed
out
that
the button.
button.
We have to replace the button quite often. It gets worn out.
I'm sure. So how did you get involved in getting trains at the BioPark?
Well,
were people screaming more and more trains, or did it just something you thought would look awesome?
It sounded like a good idea at the time, and it's morphed from there. We started off with about 400 feet of track, only a few engines, and it has morphed into what it is now, where we have, probably 20 engines, hundreds of cars. We have volunteers who just take care of this stuff, because when you're running it, 7, 8 hours a day, gears wear out, motors wear out, things cook. On occasion,
nothing catches on fire, though, right?
Nothing is caught on fire, but we have, occasionally things will short out. Transformers that, we've got 3 or 4 transformers. We have backup for everything.
That's cool. Well, I know that train guys can be obsessive.
They can be.
They're passionate.
Right.
They're very passionate. A lot of these gentlemen have layouts in their own backyards. Some of them don't, and so they're into the club. They have their own trains. They don't have a setup at home, so they bring their stuff to us, and we let them run their personal engines, which adds a little bit of diversity to the layouts that we have.
I think last time I was there was a rail runner train.
Yes, that's one of our volunteers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we avoid branding of any kind.
Right.
So we don't have any Coca-Cola cars or anything like that.
Right, but the rail runner we can
get away with that. Yeah. And if it's their stuff, we
Excellent.
can usually get away with it.
I love it. And Catherine, this is just some of the stuff that you can do as a volunteer. This is just one of the many opportunities,
This is one of the many
right?
opportunities. Yeah, like John was saying, like both of you were saying, some people are just really passionate about trains. Sometimes you don't even know that you're passionate about trains until you come to the orientation or you've gone to the garden and you say, wow, what they're doing is pretty neat. Or maybe you're into plants, and that combination of being able to maintain those miniature plants with the trains is such a neat combination. And know, it's ladies too. It's not just guys. Yeah. There are many women who are into trains, and this is a nice, safe. You get to talk to people who share your same interests and your enthusiasm, and you become part of our volunteer group. And
it's
cool. Really neat. So that training is this Friday, actually.
Oh, very cool. But this is what else can you volunteer for? I mean, this is one of the many, many, many things.
Right. So the BioPark, we've got the zoo, the aquarium, the garden, and Tingley Beach. And each of those facilities has numerous exhibits, tons of plants. So we have a horticulture volunteer program, which is separate from the Garden Railroad train program. So just like John said, he's the curator of plants. He's in charge of everything that's green and not so green at the at the BioPark. And our volunteers help them maintain all of those beautiful horticultural elements in our exhibits. So we've got touch pool volunteers as well.
Like these guys here?
Like those guys, exactly, yeah. So at the aquarium, we have 2 touch pools, our shark and ray encounter, and our invertebrate touch pool. That's our train right there. So you can see, look at all of the detail that's in not just the train, but look at the bridges, look at the rocks and the grass, everything. It's a lot of maintenance.
Oh, that's cool. Somebody put a GoPro on one of the trains.
The GoPros. And you need to understand that it's volunteers doing a lot of this. I do have a paid staff person to help coordinate, but it's mostly the volunteers. The volunteers set up the original design, and they've been influential in expanding it further. And they come to me all the time wanting to do more and more and more. And we have to kind of cut them off.
Do you have to restrain them a little bit?
You got to cut down on the urban sprawl, yeah.
Right. Yeah, there is such a thing as too much track, right? Well, how many plants do you have to keep track of? Like, I have a cactus in my house, and I forget to even water that. Like,
yeah, I have like 3 philodendrons at home, and I'm cool. You know, I could not tell you. It's probably hundreds of thousands of plants at the garden at this point. You got to remember the garden's 20 years old now, almost 20 years old.
At what point does a garden like that mature?
We never do.
Okay.
Gardens are always evolving.
Just like me, never maturing.
Right.
Always evolving.
Yeah, gardens are always evolving. The plants are always growing. Unfortunately, plants also get old where they have to come out and be replaced. The neat thing about what we do is we get to have fun. I have very passionate staff, which is nice. But we get to do a lot of fun stuff. We get to play with plants on a daily basis.
That's very cool.
So we get to watch plants grow for a living.
It's so neat. And the horticultural volunteers get to not only work at the Botanic Garden, but they can work with the people who maintain Tingley Beach and the zoo as well. So all of the beautiful horticultural elements at the zoo, they can help with that as well.
That's very cool.
We also have greenhouses at the zoo. We have a lot of volunteers that help us grow the plants that ultimately end up in the garden.
Oh. So they have to start somewhere, I guess, right?
Yeah.
We grow a lot of, we do buy a lot of stuff, but we also grow a lot. For instance, the poinsettias you see during River of Lights, we grow those in-house. We're very proud of those.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
And some of the other volunteer programs is our docent program. And so that training, that orientation starts in August.
Okay.
But we have Botanic Garden docents. And so they learn about everything that our garden staff has to do to take care of these plants. The really complex computer system that monitors all the watering all over. So it's pretty neat. It's a fun place to volunteer.
Very cool.
Definitely.
Well, if you want to volunteer, it's this Friday. You can get down to the... Do you just have to register online?
Actually, yeah, there's an online application that we encourage everyone to fill out. And so if they could do that before Friday, that's great, because you have to be invited to the orientation.
Okay.
So you can make sure there aren't too many people, because we hear from expert staff and we don't want to make those groups too big.
Right.
Yeah.
There's only so many people you can train at once, right?
Correct.
Well, awesome. I wish we had some track here. I play with this train. But in the meantime, we got our buddies, the Big Spank here in-house. They're our house band all day. How much fun is it having these guys around?
They're great.
Right?
Do you remember so much ago when I was on your mind? Do you remember 6 months wasn't enough time? Do you remember getting right songs, telling the truth? Now I do, but now I do. 6 months and I said you're warm